that's the part that bothered me.
I just thought I remembered that last time.
You are right.
I was afraid we were causing trouble. Where's this? Not.
Good morning.
That's okay.
I'll sit by Kelly, but no.
That's what Donna Dawson
Kelly
said,
will.
yeah, what time?
I will, because I know she will probably.
I'm sure. Full of Jared.
Hello there, Denny.
Hello, Jean, how are you?
Oh, God. It's been a
One of those.
whirlwind of a day.
We've been so spoiled.
Sometimes that's good, but no.
I don't know. I didn't think I was gonna have time to go find my cats, and I didn't. But Randy said that he thought Jordan was on top of the dog at one point. And he was
On Wednesday, because it was warm?
Yep.
Yeah, I remember, we used to have cats that did that too. In fact, I'm surprised that there was two in the garage, so now.
Yeah,
Good on you.
and I called him Monday.
It has been.
I'll have to look and see if I have cat cracks.
Yeah, you will, and I'm not sure if it's on the hood or if it's on top.
I'll bet it's on more than the hood.
I
Too
bet
bad
so,
when they
too.
feel the warmth of the motor.
I'll be coming back around though.
We'll get to the bothersome there.
He's on this side. Yeah. Just double check. Yes.
Hello, Marie. Hello.
Oh, hi. What do you have?
I don't know.
You'll have to talk to Nell if you got any questions, so. She did the bulk of it.
Oh. Delegating or?
I was probably doing something for her.
Little one here tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Dad's out soil sand.
I'm just here to observe. Glenda, you're here. You know,
You must be
Jean was
really bored
just
at home.
talking.
You must be really bored at home.
Yes.
No, I've just been out.
I missed her here. Was it you?
But I had a dream about you last night, Glenda. You were in my dream last night, but I can't remember what it was about, but you were in my dream.
Well, thank you. It
Hopefully you were having fun.
was good.
I think we were having fun.
That's part of life.
Yeah.
Let's see, can we turn these on? I'm just gonna turn it. Bill will turn too, so I'm gonna go there and tap it.
Okay, is this one mine? Yes.
Yeah, must be. All of us, you were encroaching.
I was. Sorry.
And nobody wants your bill, so.
Yes, well, it's automatically withdrawn, so.
So is mine, and I've already got mine.
Yeah, I already got mine.
Big lot of it to me the other day when I was out.
Yeah, Lana brought it up to the chiropractor when she came.
Oh,
up
did
last-
she?
She said, I called her and said, you want me to bring the dog in?
He's not happy.
Sounds like you in the morning.
I don't want to get up or what?
Yeah.
I don't want to get up.
Me too. Yeah.
Someday you won't have to worry about that, Danny.
I've been asked by so many people why
I
I haven't been
wonder.
here. Maybe I better show up.
Yeah, we've been wondering where Glenda's been.
I know.
Is there another one up there?
Then she comes on like every night, not that,
Yeah.
maybe that's it, you don't do anything else.
I read it in both.
True. Well, that's all good stuff.
Yeah. Good. Hey, what's a good way to get a hold of them? I hate to call them, because I know they're busy.
All right, it's 5:30, so I will call our meeting to order. Michelle, if you would please do roll call.
Carol Moncamp.
Here.
Nicole Jacobs.
Here.
Jean Engrell.
Here.
Denny Workmeister.
Here.
Steve Perrin is out.
All right, thank you. If you'd all please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our next agenda item is approval of the agenda, and we have a change here, right, Michelle?
Yes.
That'll be meeting number 6. that correct? Just delete it from the agenda?
Correct.
And Tisha, would you share with us a little bit why we're gonna delete that? That way that public hearing was canceled.
Yep, so, looking at transferring that property to the Economic Development Corporation, the Paullina Development Corp. I was thinking that it was a governmental body because the Development Corporation runs as an extension of the city. Its purpose, it's designed under the code for furthering economic development of the city. And it's funded, it can get funding through the city, it can be a beneficiary of taxes from the city. But when I was double checking things this morning, Mary had asked about transferring property without a value. It really is still technically a separate nonprofit corporation. And although its purpose is to serve the city and help the goals of the city, it really is not, doesn't fall into any of the governmental body definitions that the code has. So the city can't transfer property without a value unless it's to a governmental body. And since it doesn't fit that definition, that's the reason we can go forward with that.
Okay.
So we can still look at utilizing the economic development to do those properties. But we would, I think, probably look at, they could purchase them from the city to still manage them how we want them to manage them. We would just have to look at, and I think we would just probably prioritize if we had certain properties we wanted more movement on quicker than others. Because they do have funding available to look at purchasing some of that. So those are options that can still be explored.
Okay. All right, thanks
Any
for that.
questions?
Well, I was just wondering, was it missed on the governmental side as far as planning development or on the city side?
No, it's on the, I mean, it's just in that definition.
So it's hazy or what?
Maybe I'm not understanding your question, Benny.
Well, what I was wondering is, there's a code there, was the code misinterpreted on the planning development side or on the city side?
It was misinterpreted in understanding whether the development corporation was classified as a government body.
So, how do we know, I mean, is there a definition for that then that we need to be aware of? Or
As to what a government body is,
Yeah,
there's not a very good one.
okay.
I spent a significant part of the day trying to clarify that. There are some references in the code, but there's not a very specific reference. Probably the last one that I was just looking under is probably the most expansive definition, and it's in the Open Records Act. So 22.1 kind of lists a lot of the government bodies in that section. But yeah, there's not a real great clear definition of what a governmental body is.
So would the follow-up then be for economic development to get to the government
Yeah, no, I don't
standards?
know if there's anything that they can do to fit that. And that's the only part of it, because the city can transfer property without value to a government body for a public purpose. And clearly their purpose was for a public purpose, but I don't know if there's any way that they can fit that definition.
That's unfortunate.
So, I mean, the okay side of it is that they do have finances available that we could
We
still
could
look
sell
at
it to
them
them.
purchasing
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
but it just, yeah.
So I'll put a leader out there, is there any so-called amount that economic development has to pay for the property to make?
So the code says
legal
it has,
transfer?
yep, so the code says it has to be from fair market value. There's many different ways to establish fair market value, but it has to be essentially what a market bidder would pay for that property.
So it's not $1 another valuable
Right.
considerations,
Right.
it's more than that.
Yep.
Okay. Well,
Which
thanks for that.
essentially, if we have properties that might be moving, I mean, if they're paying the city for it, they'll recoup that if they sell that, but it's, a time, that's why I said if we want to look at that still, we probably want to prioritize which ones we think might move faster.
Okay. So we'll put that on agenda for another following meeting, since we're just working on setting our agenda for tonight versus discussing this topic.
That would be a good idea.
Okay,
Thank you, Tisha.
thanks, Tisha.
Yep.
Any other changes to the agenda? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the agenda as amended with number 6 removed, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say aye. Carried.
Who moved?
Yeah, who made the motions?
Yeah.
I don't think we had any motions on it.
Oh. Okay.
I was
sorry.
wondering, I was
Okay.
like,
A motion to approve the revised agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the revised agenda.
Do we have a second?
I'll second. Me.
Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say aye. Carried. All ayes. Okay, item number 3 is public forum for any comments from the public for items on or off the agenda. Here for the agenda item.
Nope, I'm just here to observe.
Alright. Okay. City announcements, Michelle, please.
Just a reminder that Winter Street parking started November 1st, so from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. there's no parking on city streets. And also a reminder, please do not blow your leaves in the street.
Are you guys sweeping some of them? I know it's been wet now again, but have you been going down with the sweeper or?
We didn't use this, last week we went out with the wheel loader and skid loader and picked up a bunch of the wet stuff.
I just did mine and then you guys were coming by and
Dave even went down ours because it was so thick in the gutters.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just awful. So, that's
So-
over the yards.
So for the Winter City Street parking, that's for residential, is downtown?
Downtown is 2, but it's 3 to 5.
Okay. Okay. All right. Item number 5 is our consent agenda. I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll move that.
Is there a second?
A second.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, say aye. Carried. All right, item number 7, hometown Christmas presentation.
All right, so Hometown Christmas is on Saturday, December 7th. There's going to be a lighted parade in the evening, and so requesting that a little bit of street closure at 6 p.m. They would line up at the hatchery on East Railroad, so the parade will start at the corner of Mickley and Broadway and end down at Rutledge Street. So just
When will
short
the
and
parade
sweet.
start then? 6:30 or 6? Don't know. Kinda?
6-ish.
Okay.
To be determined.
Okay.
And then just a little update on Hometown Christmas this year. The Jingle and Mingle is moved to Saturday night. There's a home basketball game Friday night, and so they're doing all their events on Saturday at the Legion. So we are making some changes as well. The Breakfast with the Elves that we've had for the last 4 or 5 years, we're gonna move to Zion this year, and that'll be from 9 to 11. Santa and Mrs. Claus are gonna be there in the morning, just to make better use of the time for everybody, and then just sharing the weekend with the Jingle and Mingle events. We're still gonna have the crafts for the kids with the pancakes. There's a possibility, maybe the fire department doing a fundraiser for pancakes. We're gonna know more after the chamber meeting on Wednesday on that, so. Just do that street closure.
Okay. Street closures for parades, so we'll have, if you get the specifics of timing and which streets to Michelle.
I have the streets.
You can get it to her, because
Yep.
she'll do up a resolution for that, for the next
Okay.
meeting to approve that.
All right,
All right,
thank you.
thanks for reading that.
Thank you.
All right, item number 8, engagement for our fiscal year 2024 examination. Got a resolution packet. Okay.
I'll read it. Be Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Paullina to approve and authorize the execution of the engagement letter between City of Paullina and Williams and Company PC to perform annual exam for the period of July 1, 2023 to June 30, 2024.
All right, so are you making the motion to approve that
Yes.
resolution? Okay.
Yes.
I was
Do you have a second?
seconded.
Any discussion?
I hope they can figure out it. That they'll be smooth sailing for you guys. Should be getting better. If they could ever figure out where that extra
It's
stuff.
going to be smoother.
It's gotta be smoother, right?
Okay, any other discussion or questions on it? Hearing none, roll call vote please, Michelle.
Denny Workmeister,
Yes.
Gina Andra,
Yes.
Nicole Fennel,
Aye.
Carol Hunttown.
Aye.
All right, all ayes, that passes. Okay, well, we can get that started.
When will they, do you have any idea when they're coming? Okay.
They have that in their engagement letter, right, that we started sometime in November, hopefully.
Yeah, I seen the amount, that scared me, but
Okay. Item number 9, Little Critter Splash Pad. Got in your agenda notes, a motion, this is just a motion to support if the council so chooses. So I would entertain a motion as such.
I will make a motion to support the Little Critter Splash Pad group.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, any discussion? Michelle, would you maybe read that out loud just so that people that aren't here
Yeah.
can hear that?
Yep, this motion is to support the Little Critter Splash Pad group moving forward with the understanding that if the project funding is secured by Little Critter Splash Pad group, the city of Paullina supports locating it in a mutually agreeable location in the city park, and that the only financial support from the city, if the project is completed, will be covering the cost of the water hookup, water supply, and minimal city labor.
Okay, any questions or discussion on the motion?
can you tell me where in the park you're thinking of putting it? Denny or Kelly,
Be right east of the main jungle gym there.
where the slide and all that is, or further north, closer to where Harms are on that side?
Straight east,
Straight east of
following
the,
Commerce.
Okay, on the street.
Right on
on
Commerce.
Here,
south.
it's really bad, because
I know it, I
or
know.
here's the playground, and then you have like the swings, and right there's the old scout house,
Yep.
right here.
So it would be on that south end of the park.
Mhm.
No, not necessarily, that, so what this is, that in the motion it says a mutually agreeable spot, it does not say that spot is agreed upon.
That's why I wanted to know if we had something figured out or didn't.
They recommended at
That was
last
the
meeting,
proposed spot.
their
Mhm.
proposed spot.
Because it's pretty good size, so I know you have enough room in there.
I'd like to see what Michelle read in the minutes, please, word for word.
Okay, can I do the minutes? Yep, I'll do that.
And then I had two concerns. What if there's failure or catastrophic failure of the splash pad? Is that called to us as a city or the group?
Can you give
Something breaks
specifics
down.
on that? Like what are you talking about with the catastrophic?
Well,
Catastrophic failure.
It's gonna take us 50,000, 60,000, for example, to repair or whatever. Is that gonna come back to the city?
Like a tornado?
Well, or just anything with equipment, depending on which way they go. If they go with $500,000 proposal, there's a lot of equipment involved in it. If they go with the cheaper one, then there is no such, but
So you're talking the whole thing as a whole, not an individual? Because they have presented that there would be insurance on some of those elements that would be able to cover anything happening to those. And then there is the warranty on the different types, correct? So then that would be covered. But then I guess I really don't know if you have any contingent money, saved for anything in that account, or if you will. I guess I'm not for sure. I don't know if you discussed that.
Who pays for that insurance? Like the catastrophic
It's
insurance?
on the cities.
The city?
Yeah. Which it
It
doesn't,
didn't increase on liability.
It didn't,
Right,
no.
that's what he said.
It does increase liability, it does increase it for the equipment itself.
yeah, and they gave the amount per thousand.
Liability wise, it goes under our policy, but with physical structure, then that would be additional. For my concern, it's just, again, where are those dollars going to come from? Will it fall to the city, those responsibilities, which I assume they will, unless the group plans on giving us a little bit of a bankroll in the project. So something to consider, and then my other concern was, again, along kind of the same lines of the project gets halfway through and then there's no money or some other catastrophe comes up and the project isn't completed. And what's the thought process there? Is the city gonna jump in and finish it, or what's your?
So yeah, our goal would be to raise the money, and depending on where we fall, kind of determine what the final project would look like. And yeah, we wouldn't expect you guys to take the chunk of it if it wasn't all raised, then we would maybe find something else to do.
So you won't be doing anything until you have the full amount, correct? And then, of course, you probably might want to have more than the full amount, just so you have the extra money, just in case, because you're always gonna have those extras.
And you're totally aware that the city isn't gonna fund any of this? Okay. All right.
But the city will end up paying for like the electricity,
Yeah.
the water.
I mean, the big stuff.
Yeah, if this, let's say we do the cheaper of the two, where does this runoff water go to? Does it go to our storm sewer?
Or does it
Asked that
recirculate?
question last time.
Goes out.
You mentioned that last meeting about
I
that.
remember that.
And
If
that's,
you do the first one, it will go to our lagoon, and if you do the second one, it gets recirculated.
and that, with that water, it won't like be so much water that it'll overflow the lagoon. Okay?
Will it go to the lagoon, or will it go to the storm sewer? The sanitary goes to the lagoon, storm sewer goes.
Storm sewer goes to,
I was thinking that the engineer addressed that water.
Yeah, I believe he said this
storm
one.
sewer.
So, yeah, that wouldn't affect us at all then.
okay?
Would you have to get a DNR permit or anything like that to look at it?
Possibly.
So that's something we want to watch out for.
And if we do that non-circulating one, if we would happen to have a drought, we could shut down the pad, correct?
So, but we have no idea what electric and all that stuff is gonna take to run it.
Or what's
I
in
have
water
some kind of a
lines?
thing here for $86 per day, but I don't remember what that was
That's
for.
water. That's the
That was the water.
water
That's the water bill,
recirculation
yeah.
system.
Okay, I couldn't
And their
remember.
electrical costs are on there too, estimates.
Electrical and
And
what?
if it was running all day,
The electrical estimates are on there too. That would be 8 hours a day, every day of the week for.
Okay. That's that again. And how much maintenance is it gonna cost you guys to, or what is it gonna, what do you guys have to do? I mean, we have to check it daily, or like on the weekends?
Depends on which route they go.
Oh, really?
It should all be in your,
They gave
They all
two different
presented on
options. And if it was the recirculating one, then there's some bright filters and testing and stuff like that.
And basically, we would just be walking by, putting eyes on it, power washing at the beginning and end of the year, and then the recirculation system would have a little extra of checking chemical levels and everything.
That's what you said, the other one doesn't have the.
No, the first one does not.
this one here is the two different types.
And if we do the recirculation system, that building goes close to the splash pad?
They both do, and they can both be above or below ground.
Okay.
But
Most people
preference
do
would be
above.
above, just for the work and all of that.
Okay, any other discussion?
I guess I would like a little more time to do some more investigating. I don't know.
Well, I wonder if we should check, did you say Sibley had one, Kelly, or not?
Sibley's got one attached to their pool.
Oh, okay, so then they got warm water,
So that one-
I bet.
Paul has one in their city park.
Who does?
Paul?
Hull?
Okay, I know Orange City has a real small one, so that wouldn't even compare.
Somebody
I
said
don't
Orchard
know.
too.
Spirit Lake has, would have a good sized one.
I think with your presentation though, I think you guys had all aspects of it. All the questions that were just asked tonight were in your presentation, the answers were. I feel like you guys did a great job with presenting this. I think it would be a great benefit to our town, now, future. Yeah, I can't really say anything else. You guys did a really good job.
Yeah, you did a great job on your
Yeah.
presentation.
Yeah,
I agree.
there's a lot of information.
And this, we're not saying that this is going to completely move it forward. We're just wanting to make a step forward.
So they
So
can
they
get
can
started,
start.
can,
so they can
yeah.
get started with fundraising
Fundraising.
and grants and all that stuff.
And this doesn't necessarily mean it's,
No,
Gotta
this
happen.
is, no, this is just a motion, it's not a resolution.
Well, I
Because they won't be doing anything until they have secured all the financials.
I know, but I didn't know if they'd want to start collecting money and then
Well, they
decide.
will.
Yeah, but then what do you do with it when you decide, if we decide not to go
They
And you
further?
guys discussed that too, in the meeting last time, that it would go back to,
Parks and,
yep,
Okay.
So if we have concerns as we look at this, they still can be addressed down the road. is
Right.
what we're
Yes.
saying.
Okay.
I'll call the question.
All right, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say aye. Carried. You have the nod, yes, for support. Thank you.
happy fun collecting.
Yeah.
All right, move on to item number 10, to schedule a finance workshop. Michelle, you want to update us on that?
Yeah, Maureen will be here Friday. Sorry,
Sorry.
need a gavel. Maureen will be here Friday, she plans to be here all day Friday. So it would be ideal if we could schedule it, not that following week, but the week after. So it'd be the same week as the next council meeting.
Which is on the 18th, so Wednesday or Thursday on that week. Does that work with council members?
13th, Wednesday.
No, it'll be the week later. The week of the next council meeting, the meeting is the 18th. So it'll be the
Oh,
20th,
okay.
21st,
Oh, so you're gonna do it after the meeting?
After the council.
Oh, okay. It'll be the 20th, will be the Wednesday, the 21st, the Thursday.
Thursday would work better for,
Yeah,
For
probably
me.
for Jean too.
yeah, as I say, if it's on the 20th,
because I'll see one.
I won't be late that day.
Yeah.
But
So should we
oh,
plan
you come that day?
Thursday?
Okay.
You schedule that for
21?
Thursday?
And 21st.
11/21.
Before Thanksgiving.
Okay.
5:30.
5:30 here.
And then she will come too.
Maureen, possibly.
That's the hope.
Okay?
Good. And if she can't,
I would bet you she'll be all right.
yeah, okay,
I
cool.
can see her there. There's Sarah here.
She's just been super busy.
Thursday. Yeah.
All right.
Be here on that day, but
You won't be?
On that Thursday?
You be
Kind
on
of
Wednesday?
another meeting,
Oh,
another meeting scheduled,
okay.
Would it be another day better?
Would another day be better for you?
or earlier in the day, I guess, set in until I go to my meeting.
When is your meeting?
I go with earlier, but.
Huh?
Yeah, 7.
What time?
7, unless, you might give us an hour and a half, well, hour. and then,
Should we meet at 4:30 for people work? We have to check with Steve for 5.
I think he's done 4:30, isn't he?
So,
How about 4:45,
On Thursday.
Thursday the
Work
21st?
for you?
Yeah, it stays on.
That give me a couple hours and it's a long ways to what you need.
4:45?
4:45, Thursday. Okay. All right, we'll move on to item number 11, electric generation update. Kelly, you got some information?
Had a meeting with DGR today and Schultz. They plan on being here the 24th. They might be bringing equipment before that, but we're gonna have we plan to have an outage that Sunday night. It'd be during the night, be a couple, 1 to 2 hours, just to get some stuff measured and ready for our other outage, which we'll figure out when.
So just to clarify, that's actually for our switchgear install connection, right?
Right.
This one's
What's the date for the
This one's
outage?
actually for the generator
Oh.
and the other project.
Okay. The only thing I got back from DGR is if we wanted to move forward with the generation and get it to where if we found a generator, we could move forward. It'd be $47,000 worth of engineering costs.
47?
$47,000?
That'd be
Should've been
getting,
engineers.
yeah, all of it
Our own
ready.
business.
That'd be for the generator, you're saying?
And that would be,
That's just for the engineering, right?
and is that just for the engineering to know? Are there further on the project, if we would do a generator installation,
There would still be some engineering costs afterwards.
so that would be beyond this. What I'd like to see is a breakdown, you know, a couple meetings ago, we got information from, I think it was from DGR, that showed 3 different options, 2.1 million, $3.4 million items. We haven't seen the breakdown of that yet to know what are the components of that. I'd still like, I'd like to see a little bit more about what's all included in there before you guys can make a decision whether or not to get ready for it. That's up to you.
What did you say that first outage will be?
That's for the switch, that's
different
not for this
topic,
one.
different
Okay,
topic.
switchgear, right?
That's
When is
what-
that?
We're not to that topic just yet.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Let's not confuse everybody
Okay,
on electrical
sorry.
projects.
So,
But we wouldn't be deciding on that engineering cost tonight anyway, because we don't have an action item on here. It was just to think about what additional questions you as the council would want to have answered before you make the decision to say yes or no to start engineering for that, so we're ready if something comes up.
well, my first question is gonna be, where are we gonna get the funds?
Agreed.
So, whoever wants to work on that issue.
That'd basically be a revenue bond, and the money we got back from MRES would pay back. I mean, if we got the third one on that list, we'd probably actually make money off it.
And it lists that all on that sheet
Yeah.
you gave us.
So are they willing to give us the money up front then? or?
No, we got to get a revenue bond.
Well,
And
that's
then
what
how
I'm
soon
saying.
after that?
If we get a revenue bond, we still have to pay that money back.
Which we get the money back from MRES.
So when do they start that payback?
They give you a lump sum once it's online of,
Okay.
I don't have the papers with me.
No, I know you talked
And then
about it,
they
but
give you, then they pay you, it'd be $5 per kilowatt,
so we'd be making some
and
money.
and it would, they'd pay you yearly, I believe.
And that would help pay back the revenue. Plus.
That would pay back the revenue plus, if we got a used one.
Can we kind of talk about that in our,
In our finance, yep. Definitely.
Okay.
Talk about that.
Yep.
Prior to that, if we could get, details of how they, so basically what we got is 3 lump sum amounts, and then we got a lot of schedule attachments that would show, depending on those various options, payback and, if the bond is at different interest rates or 20 or 30-year payback, how that would pay it back over time. But what we don't have is kind of the financing side, what's all included in the costs. specifically the timing of what the incoming payments from MREs from and stuff like that. So those are the kind of things I think we should get. And then also we can have that in time for our finance workshop, so we know some of those dollars that are moving in. Makes sense? All right.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch
Just
the
one
date of the 1 to 2 hour outage.
That, we're going to that next one. That, we didn't finish that one. I interrupted.
Okay, it wasn't me.
So now we're going to Kelly's reports, and that'll be the outages.
Talked to HK Schultz and DGR today, got a tentative schedule, they plan on being here at the, it'll probably be the 24th, I believe, having a schedule outage for 1 to 2 hours. A lot of that would be measuring and whatnot. We would have to have a second outage after that. I'm not sure on that date yet. Because, I mean, aside from stuff you guys don't really care about, it's
What did you say the first outage, what was that?
24th.
That would be a Sunday.
This of
It'd be-
November, right?
It'd be overnight, we'd do it.
Okay.
1 to 2 hours, you said?
Yep.
So Sunday, we're gonna put
Sunday
around 10,
night.
around 10 p.m. or so.
How are you coming with all those little hookup things?
We've got mostly everything done in Kim.
Okay, good.
We're doing some risers and got a couple risers to do, and we're getting there.
Good, good deal. Sounds good.
Anything else going on this week?
Went to the panel for the lagoon. They're gonna come Thursday and put that in. We'll have to shut us down for about half a day, just the lagoon, which won't affect anybody. As far as the sludge removal, there was I guess more in there than they anticipated. They probably got, I think they took 1.2 million gallons out of there, and there's probably 600,000 left in there or something. So I guess they didn't clean it all out. I don't know what we want to do moving forward.
So they'll take no more?
There was more in there than they anticipated, and yeah, that's all they're doing, I guess.
So in that, go ahead, Dan. In that contract, did it say anything that they would only take so much, or was it as a whole? I mean, because I think if it doesn't give any specifics, we need to go back to them and say, it doesn't say that. You need to come back and take this.
Finish it.
Because I don't think that we should have to pay for it if they
Another one.
weren't specific with that.
Right,
And I'm still talking with Outback about it,
yeah.
so.
Okay. Things really looked at.
It pretty much lumps on to remove excessive sludge out of cell one.
Well, an excessive should be as a
Excessive.
whole.
Should be so all of
Excess,
it.
and they
Yeah.
quoted it.
Mhm.
We can't help that they didn't think it was that much.
Then I went to MRAS meeting and I went to a NIPCO meeting. NIPCO meeting, our switch relocation and replacement, that moved to 2025, so that'll be done next year. He talked about generation, and he did ask all the towns that were there who plans on doing generation, and pretty much everybody that doesn't have generation is planning on doing generation.
Hint, hint.
It's a good one, Kelly. Nice one. Pretty smooth there, Kelly. We got that one.
We're in
Every
the
town is.
Southwest Power Pool, which goes down to Texas. And I know, was that a year or two ago where they talked about rolling blackouts? I guess that's kind of what everybody's concern is. I mean, NIPCO's very reliable. I think they're 99.9% reliable. But I mean, like when we had that pull out there break, we wouldn't have been out of power. There's certain times with like updates where we could generate and have the town on and still do the work we need to do with everything else shut off.
So is there any programs through NIPCO to help with generation or?
Not that I know of.
Okay. I thought if they were promoting and perhaps there might be some money out there or something. Can you check into that or would you know it already?
Yeah, NIPCO doesn't have any.
They just want us to spend money.
Yeah.
What was the other meeting you went to, MRES?
Yeah, that was kind of a,
That was Sioux Falls?
that was Orange City.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that.
Yeah. So this color one goes with the NIPCO stuff, Kelly?
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Would it be possible to get a financial, cost versus contract type sheet to show us on the switch gears, so we know how much is left according to each contract? Or is that a big thing?
No, I don't think so. That's something I could have to,
Workshop?
Workshop.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks.
cool.
Good. Thanks, Kelly. Anything else? We don't have a report from our city attorney. Anything else that you think we should know about?
How's the bike path doing?
I have to make one change in the proposal. I heard back from, Egg State's attorney, and he had a question about one part that I think it was a small piece that they were gonna deed test, but they actually have something on that property, so he wanted me to double check that and change that to an easement versus a deed for that part. Otherwise, that was the only question he had with it, so I'll get that changed and then get that sent to them and signed.
No, we should maybe be, if they can start looking for grants and stuff.
Awesome.
Good.
Michelle?
I really don't have anything else.
Something happening in your role?
You don't want to tell us everything.
Yeah, you don't want to talk to
It'd take too long.
Okay. One thing I want to bring up is I had a conversation with eye care. We've all got the news that the eye doctor is closing a little here. Just to see,
I did not, I care? This one?
eye care's closing down.
Oh, I did not know that.
This week on November 7th, I think, isn't it? It's really soon.
Yeah.
No, I did not know that.
So obviously, we never like to lose a business in town, and we wanted to talk with them. Their only issue, they prefer not to leave. They're going to potentially, they think, lose some significant customer base because Sutherland, Cherokee, Cleghorn, etc., Aurelia, which is where Dr. Radke is from, that's the, and then with Paullina residents, that's the bulk of their patients, customers that they see here in Paullina. They have to go 20 some miles even further. Not bad for Paullina, but people are already coming from that far south. Their only challenge that they just couldn't overcome is they only have one optometrist, Dr. Radke. There used to be three, and then there used to be the younger gentleman that left a couple years ago. So for the last couple years, Dr. Radke himself has been serving both locations, and when he's gone from Sheldon to here in Paullina, they don't have an optometrist in Sheldon. And they can't find anybody, to come, so it's really a staffing issue. Who's going into that business, where are they at? And just decided he himself, can't support his support staff in both places, so. I just wanted to find out if there was anything else that we could have done locally. So it's just all doctor-based. That's all I have. City Council?
How's the clinic? Have you heard any more on that, or?
I sent them a text late. Their response back was timing is a little bad. They wondered if there was a drop dead date that they need to make a decision by. I said, not really, but that we want to do something with it, soon, right away. I don't think we've gotten a notification yet from Mercy that they have moved out. I think they're moving their schedule for mid-month November, which then would start their 45 days.
So you did.
So we can do it in December.
We did get a piece.
You get what?
They changed the,
I know, I heard that.
Was that,
What was that deal? Did they ever say?
that was all privacy issues,
So nobody would take their
so
stuff?
nobody would take the patient files was the
Right,
big
I
concern.
understand that, but
but
Patient
But-
files should be the first
they
thing
should
to
have
go though.
snow.
that should have been taken out
they should have
regardless.
let us
yeah.
know, correct?
Oh,
That's
totally.
just part of it, but
They
you
never
should
told
take
you.
those first.
Yeah.
That was the dumb.
Okay.
Yep.
But we have, so, so hopefully I'll get an update from, an interested party in the next week or two. I'll push them as much as we can.
Okay.
Any city council comments?
One for our attorney. Have you, or do you know whether any of the legislation passed this past session, how that might affect the city or anything? I know you don't dwell directly in that atmosphere environment.
Nothing off the top of my head that's jumping out.
But there is proposed new legislation, right? Like more tax cuts and that may affect us. Not anything with,
Yeah.
So they won't help us with the tax legislation further cuts on limitations on cities.
Great.
On the revenue side of cities.
I got a question, Michelle, have you heard, do they usually do garbage pickup on Veterans Day? I couldn't remember, I think they do.
I think they do it.
Yeah,
Almost
I just seen
holidays.
Sibley was not, so I thought of us. They, as far as
Sibley
you know.
does their own garbage.
I know.
So they will do it?
And did you want to tell them about next week for Jameer?
Oh, Saturday, we're going to, our police candidate is going to come on Saturday, and Michelle's coming down, and Karen will, and I will, and Nate, if you're available.
Yeah, it changed, Nate.
Okay, well, that would be nice to know.
And he's gonna do the physical testing and the written testing. Hopefully it's not pouring rain.
Yeah, right. Snow.
Same time or what time?
2 o'clock? Will that work, Nate?
As far as I know at this point.
Okay.
So you have to do the physical test in front of you? Or,
Yep.
Okay, anything else? Any committee reports? What departments, Nate? Or shouldn't say chief?
Who are you talking to? I'm sorry.
I'm talking to the police chief.
Okay. Candidate thing, and then we had a meeting last Tuesday, the sheriff and all the chiefs and the auditor with regard to just to what to watch for, any concerns or issues that might come up tomorrow. I think that's all I had.
Did you ever check into if Jameer's criminal justice will transfer?
I haven't looked at that yet, no.
Okay.
We can ask him on Saturday too.
Yeah, we can.
Did he have I thought he said he had a degree in it, didn't he?
Yeah,
And
it's
then
just a matter,
psychology?
it's just a matter that, I mean, the academy has decided certain degrees meet the criteria and some don't.
Okay.
so-
Okay.
All right,
so
we'll
just
find out.
Check it out. Yep,
Okay.
sounds good.
Fire chief.
Nothing much going on. Had trunk or treat. Another great success. Yeah. It's good to see all the kids out there trying to coax them into being a firefighter at some point.
Awesome.
When you're giving hats away or something?
Yeah, we do little fire helmets every year.
Sure.
Did you know there was 2 when you handed it to her? Oh, she was so excited. She
Yeah.
got 2 pink fire.
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
boy.
Hey.
I
They used to be
touched so
just
many
red.
of them, and some of the kids were like blue, and it's like, can't hardly do it fast enough, so yeah,
That's fine.
it's always great to be out with the kids. I mean, again, it's another public event that we can put our face out there.
Right.
And, support our project.
one question to the council. You guys saw our fundraising picture. Does anybody oppose me putting that in a frame? I have an extra picture and just a little storyline of our future project and hanging it in the lobby there. So people
Great
can see
idea,
it.
good idea. Be nice if you get it in by tomorrow. I don't ask for much, Ryan.
It'd be nice if our bond was on tomorrow's.
I know, but it's not, so, but the picture would still be nice.
So, miracles can happen, so we'll see.
Okay,
So-
we'll be looking.
Yeah, yeah, so, but yeah, if nobody's opposed, it's another place for that to be seen, so.
Right,
It's a great
people
idea. Good idea.
understand.
Will you eventually, like out there, put like a goal thing or something too?
Yep, so we're gonna put a goal thing, and then at some point here, we're gonna, get our blueprints printed, so they're on the sign also.
Okay, nice,
So people
cool.
can stop and see.
Yeah.
Right. That's the ambulance library report right here. So, I guess we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say aye. Carried.
If anybody says that, I'm done.
Miracles do happen. Under hour.
I know, can you believe it? Even last time wasn't bad either.
That's our goal, hours are our goal.
I've been watching everybody else's shelter guards and say, okay, they can do it, we can do it.
As one of
So
their
interesting, they have
charity
like 24 items
events.
on the agenda,
Another
there's
thing
2
I'm gonna
action
tell you
items,
guys,
and all the
if
rest
you're
of them are
gonna
under
have
consent.
Yes, I know, I can do
things
it.
like that, let me know, and I will
Crazy.
fill out a form, and chances are we'll get you $250.
Mary, sorry, pick that up. Oh, was over there?
Supplies and things like that, so that's what you guys have to.
New rates are
I need,
Because I looked at my number, well, this has gone down.
So sure, our mail.
do you have one specific?
Are we supposed to get 4 of these?
Yeah, those are things that I need to put on
Thanks
the
for competition.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And then, because she said until that form comes in, they can't, designate any money, and then
Thursday after the
get
next
you
meeting.
put on that, so then I'll go to
Marty,
work
I talked to Marty
on
about
all
something
the
else.
drive-in
He mentioned he
members
knows him, and I just-
and have them call in
I don't know
to get their
if you wanted
choice
to
stuff.
set another meeting with them.
We got
Probably the best.
almost $1,000 was
Figure
given
out
to
whatever is
Germany,
in there before we.
and that could just be a little bit
Sounds
unfair.
good.
There's nothing.
That's really when we started last time, was fun, you heard back here, so.
So,
And-
like.
and I was looking through the file today. Because the
Yeah.
development corporation.
Okay, so-
owned a lot of-
That's coming up in January,
Yeah,
right?
so
They were all
what they
ones
do
that
with
they
that
did
is
purchase,
like
not, and it wasn't even from the city, it was all from other things,
They
like
build it
the
up
bank or
every-
different things.
Yeah.
We really haven't been in a situation where we
they split that
had
money for
abandoned properties that the city's
So
owned.
we split it.
Okay.
So that they value.
So when that
I
date
think
is
we probably
close
need
by,
to,
I
that's what
need to
I'm
have
saying,
that
and
date.
then figure out
And then I'll fill
what our
that form
priorities are.
out and we'll get you some
mean, I
money
think-
to help
I
offset,
think if
like,
we just get
plates
ballpark budget,
and
for example,
whatever
right,
I
else
think
you
the goal
guys
is
have. It's not a lot, but a little bit
the price
helps.
that's been out there is like the 2 on.
You're paying it out.
I'm sorry, Maple
Instead of
Day,
coming out.
they were 8,000 each with that.
We went just to get you guys.
That was-